All right, gonna do kind of a psychological social study video. Another cancel Clayton. Clayton is canceled. I've been canceled so many times. Cancel Clayton video. So this video, I want to talk about the delusional stuff about all of just the world today of cancel culture, social justice warrior, the crazy LGBTQ stuff everywhere. I've said before, the LGBTQ to me community now is the same thing as religion when I was growing up. When I was growing up, you know what I mean? It was often the most religious person was the most evil. But religion is based on, well, some kind of hocus pocus shit, obviously. But foundationally speaking, you can tell there's supposed to be some good there. But people then use that good for evil, right? That's what happens with a lot of religion. And that's basically what all this social justice warrior cancel culture shit, extreme LGBTQ stuff is to me now. Something that is based on something good that is now being used for basically delusional people to actually do evil, right? And I think about this topic too, and I want you to, when you listen to me speaking, I want you to think of like the sense of entitlement, hive mind kind of shit, you know what I mean? Again, you can't be the oppressed and be the oppressor. I've talked about this before. And it's always so funny like how, comparing Western world, maybe if you will, to Eastern mindset, whatever a more traveled mindset, people who have more friends than just your American friend or some shit like that, right? Because it's always so amazing to me when I talk to foreign friends or you actually travel to other countries and you hear how people know so many Western cultures and Americans are absolutely delusional. You hear people talk about like, oh, America, we're not free enough. You see all this cancel culture shit, extreme LGBTQ views, whatever it might be. It's like, oh, we're not free enough. We're being suppressed. We're not free enough. We want to go to other countries where we'll be more free. And it's like, dude, do you actually have foreign friends that live in some of these other countries? America is incredibly free compared to these other countries. Do you ever talk to some of your gay friends in other countries? They're like, oh my God, I wish I could live in America. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have a pink phone case. I'm afraid I'm going to get beat up in this foreign country for being gay. And it's like this double-edged sword or one extreme to another extreme. Yet you see these certain foreign countries, it's still kind of, not as accepted to be gay, bisexual, whatever it might be. And then America, it's completely insane, right? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Americans are super free. You're super rainbow free compared to all these countries and people like, oh my God, I wish I could go to another country. America being held down in America and Canada and all this kind of shit. What the fuck are you talking about? Compared to what country? Are you a fucking idiot? People, do you actually travel to these other countries? Do you have friends that live in, some place, you know what I mean, that's not Canada or something, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, other countries make fun of you. I was talking to this girl in Turkey and she was like, and she heard I was American. And basically the story was, and it made me laugh. She was like, oh my God, you're from America? And she's like, oh, I know all about Americans. She's like, oh, on your Twitter, do you say you're a milkshake? Are your pronouns slurp and yum? And I was like, damn, that's pretty clever. I don't know if she came up with that, but that was pretty, I was like, damn. She's like, Americans are retarded. She's like, I have no respect for Americans. You know what I mean? I can't believe it's like an American. I said, is that like a known joke? Maybe she came up with it or something. She was just like, oh, are you American? Do you have a Twitter where you say you're a milkshake and your pronoun is yum and slurp? She's like, you guys are delusional. And it's like, oh, I know. I live there. I know. I know how crazy fucking people are here, right? And again, you know what I mean? You talk about, and I should say a lot of this is the hypocriticalness, right, of stuff. Because obviously, I'm not trying to say that, every country has its own problems. I've talked about, Turkey has, that kind of interesting dynamic of religion and more progressive views in some senses. And Japan, you know what I mean? They have that sort of hive mind. And, there's good parts about Japan and there's bad parts about Japan. You know what I mean? Every country has its good and its bad. There's people are people. I think that's one of the things that, one of the scariest things and one of the best things, depending on your perspective, is the more people you talk to, and potentially one of the scariest things is, you know what I mean? You see, like, maybe you have that thought of, oh my God, I want to travel the world. I want to make all these worldly friends to experience, different cultures and everything like that. And the more people you meet from other countries, the more, things that you get to experience in life. Again, depending on your perspective, it's either scary, sad, or maybe it's kind of nice. But you'll see that there's no eye-opening experience, so to speak, right? People are people, right? You know what I mean? You could say it's beautiful. Everyone's the same. It's magical. Everybody's the same. It's magical, right? We're all human beings. We all have our goods and faults. But then, of course, the negative perspective would be like, wow, we really are all the same. You're not going to, even if you go to a super religious country, whatever it might be, racism, you know what I mean? Bad people, rude people. Being rude has no religion. You know what I mean? Being good has no religion. There's good and there's bad people everywhere, right? But again, I try to focus on a lot of the hypocrisy of stuff when you hear Americans saying, we're not free enough. You know what I mean? And again, it's because I've always said all this cancel culture stuff and this social justice warrior shit that has been going so strong, this sense of entitlement for nothing, you know what I mean, in America. Like, people want a gold star for doing nothing. It's in the video game community. I've talked about it so often. This sense of entitlement for doing nothing. This sense of entitlement for just saying, I'm gay, I deserve a gold star. I'm transgender, I deserve a gold star. Like, why? Aren't we all supposed to be equal? And again, that's why I say LGBTQ stuff, cancel culture, social justice warrior, all that stuff, yeah, there's a good foundation. And there's a good foundation, hocus pocus bullshit of religion, but you know what I mean? A lot of religious values. You know what I mean? You say like, oh, there's a good story here, good morals and everything like that. Teaches us good morals, just like, LGBTQ stuff. Yeah, there's some good morals in it, obviously, right? You know what I mean? We shouldn't be racist against people, prejudiced against people, whatever. But you see, it's just used for evil now. You know what I mean? Like absolute, like insanity stuff. Like I've told that story, man. That girl, you know what I mean? One of my friends that goes to all those LGBTQ stuff, she was assaulted at one. But you know what? Nobody cares because another transgender person assaulted them. And I'm like, well, why don't you say anything? Oh, well, nobody cares. I got that one famous transgender friend. I've talked about her before. She's always like, oh my God, the community is so toxic. That's why I stay away from it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, don't you think you should like use your power as one of the most famous transgender people to, then kind of like talk about that not all the stuff that is going on in this community is actually good and it's toxic. And she's like, but then she'll be like, oh, I don't go to these parades anymore. I stay away from them because they're so toxic. But then I'm like, but why don't you talk about some of this toxic shit that goes on, this sense of entitlement? She's like, well, I know that some people actually do hate us. And so I don't want to talk about it because I don't want there to be any negative light because I know some people do this. And it's like, dude, some people hate everybody. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, dude, some people hate everybody. Not everyone's going to like everyone. And, another story I told that girl, man, she wrote 100% female. We've always known that she's bisexual, and she came out as a non-binary. And it's like, okay, you're non-binary. Okay, well, and she's like, what do you identify as? And she's like, well, I identify as 100% female, which I already am, that identifies as a non-transitioning transgender. And I've always felt like people are racist towards me because of this specific thing or something. Whatever, paraphrasing, whatever the exact quote. She said, and I'm like, dude, no one in their right mind when you were going to elementary school were probably hating you because you're 100% female who has always felt that they are 100% female, but they're non-transitioning transgender. Are you kidding me? I saw this other thing too. My friend was posting. I guess there's this fucking, we're like just the ridiculousness of this shit, dude. I guess there's some Quidditch things. It's the fucking Harry Potter shit, whatever. I didn't even know it's a real sport. It's a real sport, apparently, right? But they want to distance themselves from J.K. Rowling, whatever it is. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know exactly what she said. The transgender community hates her. Because anything I've seen from her doesn't seem like, God, Jesus Christ. Is that the worst she said? I've had much worse said to me. Okay, you know what I mean? But there was some idea that there was some quote of some person saying that they love quid fuck me, whatever it's called, and they're like, I love it because there's a non-binary league, and sometimes when I wake up, I don't know what gender I want to be for the day, and when you're on a non-binary team, everyone has to be the same gender for that team. But some days I wake up and I don't know what gender I want to be. And the great thing about non-binary teams in this quid ball thing is that we have a designated captain who will always decide that day. He just picks our gender for us. And I was talking to this, again, LGBTQ friend. I'm like, don't you think this is getting ridiculous? You know, you got people, oh, we don't want someone to tell us our gender, right? Do you know what I mean? But now you are saying, oh, I love that there are non-binary leagues because sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I don't know what gender I want to be today, which is bizarre, right? I mean, we all have feminine and male aspects to our character, more masculine, maybe more, traditionally, let's say masculine aspects, more traditionally feminine, let's say aspects, whatever. But, oh, I'm just going to wake up. I don't know if I want to be a female or a male today, right? But then so you're mad when someone else will tell you, but the non-binary teams, you like it when someone picks your gender for you. And I'm like, don't you see the hypocrisy in that? And the person I was talking to, she's like, no, I don't think that's hypocritical at all. And I'm like, why not? And she's like, I just really hate it because I don't want a fucking Republican to tell me what gender I am that day. And I heard her say that, and I'm like, do you think only Republicans think it's weird that's hypocritical? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've even been accused of being a Republican, which I'm not. Which is crazy. Like, oh, you don't think this is ridiculous? It has nothing. I'm not Republican. I just think it's weird. And I even brought up this thing. I'm like, don't you think it's kind of weird that I thought it was a meme, but I guess there's actually some people that think they're bugs. I don't know. Has anyone else seen this shit? People, I thought it was a joke. Some people think they're a bug. I don't know. And I asked a friend, like, don't you think it's kind of ridiculous? There's actually people that think they're bugs. It's kind of retarded. And she's like, what's retarded about thinking you're a bug? Yeah, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, a bug? And she's like, well, there's lots of things we don't know about human sexuality yet and how, humans evolve, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they think they're a bug. Maybe they are a bug. How do you know? And I was just like, what? You're not a bug. What the fuck are my brain? I've said this before, dude. It's funny too. We got the video game community. I say this sense of entitlement. You know what I mean? They want a special star for doing nothing in the video game community. Like, oh, I've been held down, for so long. Oh, what have you been held down? Dude, when I was a kid growing up all those years ago, dude, God, I'm old now, right? When I was a kid growing up, there were already, my friends were like saying like, hey, do you ever think about being gay for attention? Which is obviously another fucking story. I'm going to be honest. If you're gay for attention, having sex with other guys for attention, I think you're just gay. I don't know. Come on. But the point is, even when I was a kid, being gay was okay. It was not a taboo thing. So when I see kids say like, oh my God, I'm being held down for being gay. I can't get the kind of job I want. Motherfucker, you're like 14 years old. What do you mean you're held down at working at McDonald's? Another thing too, and I guess I'm lucky enough, you know what I mean, that I'm popular with some. You know what I mean? Some girls like me. I can tell you, I have really young girls sometimes come up to me. You know what I mean? Just like driving, literally. What can I say? You know what I mean? Sometimes they think I'm cool. I don't know. I got this. I bullshit enough that I walk around sometimes and girls come up. But the point is, I've actually had girls come up to me super young, like 16 years old, dude. They're like, hey, I'm gay, but do you want to go out? Do you want to do something? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, dude, I think you're a little young for me. You know, I had this one girl, she's like, oh, I just want to tell you, don't worry. I mean, I'm lesbian, but can I add you on Instagram? You know? And I'm like, can you imagine Americans thinking we are so not free that, you know what I mean? I'm 30 years old, man, and I got fucking like 16-year-old girls coming up to me like, hey, I'm gay. Do you want to hang out? Can I add you? I'm lesbian, but I just think you look really cool. You think I'm kidding me, but I'm not. People have said that shit to me. And I'm like, and I just like shake my head because I'm like, dude, you know, I think about this cancel culture thing and I'm like, and God, I was talking to this one girl and she just came up to me and, you know, she's like super just telling me all her business, dude. She's like, oh yeah, I'm really gay. I'm bisexual, but gay, but bisexual. But you know, I like guys, but I'm gay. And I'm like, oh yeah, and we're just like walking around, like talking. I'm like, okay, and I'm like, so tell me about yourself, your friends or something like that. I'm like listening to her story, and she's like, oh yeah, all my friends, we're all really gay. We're gay, you know. And I was like, mm-hmm. And then, you know, and I just think, and again, it makes me roll my eyes that Americans think they are not free. Because when you talk to foreign friends, I'm like, can you imagine people coming up to you, like saying this to you in your country? And they're like, no. And then they're like the only reason people want to come to our country, I think one girl was like Poland or something like that. She's like, all they want, or Sweden maybe it was, or my God, I've talked to so many people like this before. Probably could have been Poland and Sweden or whatever. I feel like those are two countries I recently was talking to people from. And they're like, all they want is our free healthcare. It's like Americans are just selfish. It's like they've never been here. They don't know anything about how free we are. Like we've traveled before. You know, it's like no one acts like they do in America here. You know what I mean? All they want is Americans are entitled and they want our fucking free healthcare. They want free school. Americans are selfish and terrible fucking people, basically. Basically. Honestly, that's pretty much what they said. They're like, it's like the sense of entitlement and delusion of like untraveled people who, you know, another thing too, God, I've actually had, you know, and I actually see some of these girls sometimes when I you know, again, I've had so many gay friends and, you know, LGBTQ, whatever you want to call them. You know, I had that one story that I posted, you know what I mean? Because I've been sexually harassed by the LGBTQ. So many people, transgender people, if I don't have sex with them, they'll talk shit about me. And I have actually had LGBTQ friends say, if you say that a transgender person harassed you, like I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to be your friend, basically, because I don't want you to make the community look bad. And I'm like, so it's okay that I'm harassed. I can't say that this person lied about me. And they're like, well, I'm not saying it's okay that you were harassed, but if you show that this person did this to you, you know, we can't really talk because, you know, our community is being held down. And I get back to like, you're delusional. You're absolutely delusional if you think you are being held down. The stuff that you guys do, what are you being held? Some people just don't like people. When you're a fucking kid, people will make fun of your fucking shoes, okay? I don't like that kid's shoes. Some people just don't like people. There's not just like, you know, some people probably don't like LGBTQ shit, whatever. Some people aren't cool with their friends being gay, whatever it might be. But this whole idea that you're being held down, you cannot be the oppressed and be the oppressor. And just like I talk in this video game community, like, oh my God, we don't want to believe Clayton was a nerd. You know, we don't want to believe Clayton has had real problems. Like, what is your problem? You know what I mean? I think about the video game community, like, dude, I've been dying in a fucking hospital, okay? And you listen to people like, oh my God, well, I'm gay. Pretty sure dying in a hospital is worse than being gay. I had this one friend, we don't talk to her anymore because, again, it is so hard to talk to my old gay friends, some of them, because they are just so delusional, because they have so much power to be literally retarded and selfish. This one girl, man, oh my God, she was talking about, she's bulimic, right? And she was just saying, well, you know, bulimia is a disease, bulimia. I don't know exactly the quote she said, but you know what I mean? She's like, maybe she said anorexic. again, I'm not exactly quoting. Whatever she said, anorexic or bulimic or whatever. And she's like, and you know what? That's a disease, right? And it's like, okay. And she's like, well, cancer is a disease, right? And it's like, okay. She's like, well, I should be treated the same. So an eating disorder is a disease, so you should be considered like a cancer patient. And she was dead serious. Imagine like how entitled and how selfish. That's what I'm saying. It's like, man, what? And you have people that say that shit with a straight face here, and motherfuckers complain that they are not free enough in America. You are free to say you're a fucking bug here, and people will actually defend you. You know what I mean? Like I said, I actually really like that girl in Turkey that told me that. I don't know if she made that joke up about a milkshake and saying that their pronouns are yum and slurp. But she's like, God, I fucking hate Americans. You guys are so fucking retarded. You know what I mean? And I was just like, oh, man. And again, there's not good people everywhere. I've talked to, other friends going to other countries. There's racism in like every potential country. There's bad people everywhere. But, the hypocrisy thing is what always bothers me. The sense of entitlement. You have people, it's like, dude, it is like your whole identity is your entire identity that you're a social justice warrior, that you're LGBTQ, or are you just a human being that actually has other hobbies and qualities to them, right? You know what I mean? Like, wow, you have other hobbies and I just happen to be gay. I have other hobbies and I just happen to be transgender. You know what I mean? But some of you guys are just like, wow, your only identity is that you're LGBTQ. And you have nothing of value whatsoever. Like, what are you doing? Oh, well, I'm LGBTQ, so I should automatically be the best at video games. Why? What does being gay have to do with video games? And I made that video too. I showed before. It's like the whole reason, and the hypocritical thing is, the whole reason there's so much hate in the video game community is because it's so diverse. People complain it's not diverse enough. It's incredibly diverse. That's why there's so much hate, because there's that sense of entitlement that people want to believe that I'm the only person that was the real nerd. Only I was a real nerd. Only I was the real person that struggled. And most of the struggles people post are not even real. They're fake. You're just like, oh my God, somebody was mean to me today. Can you believe someone didn't like me because I was transgender today? Some people don't like people because, a straight person. I know it's shocking to you. Did you know that some people just don't like other people? That just, I know it's shocking. People are so delusional that they think, oh my God, the only reason that anyone would ever hate me is because I'm LGBTQ. Maybe you're just fucking weird. Maybe people don't like you because you're weird. I can't believe that's that thing. And like I said, I talked to that one girl. You don't think it's retarded to think you're a bug? Well, we don't know everything about human sexuality yet. You could be a bug. I don't think it's retarded. What? How can I have an honest? How are you supposed to have a conversation with somebody like that? It's like, yo, bro, you can be whatever you want to be, but you think you're a bug? I thought this was a joke, but you literally think it's okay if you think you're a bug? Oh, what? Are you Republican? You think it's weird? Are you a Republican? Only Republicans think it's weird to be a bug. What? I'm not free enough in America. Go to another country. Do you have any foreign friends that are not part of your hive mind of delusional insanity? Do you know what I mean? You're pretty goddamn fucking free in America. And like I said, when you talk to some of these other foreign people, they're like, Americans are idiots. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The only reason they want to come here is because they're selfish and they're entitled and they want more free shit for doing nothing. They want more free healthcare. They want free schooling. Because you guys are delusional. A gold star for doing nothing. And it's like, dude, I agree. Trust me. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like, I almost should say, it's like, God, do I even say I'm American anymore when you meet foreign friends? You know, and again, at the end of the day, like I said, it just goes to show you something that's supposed to be for good is just used for complete insanity now, dude. It's just so, it's like, God, it's like politics. Literally, it's like, yo, bro. It's like, don't you think you guys are being a little bit weird? You know what I mean? And then you got friends, like I said, it's very disappointing too when you hear people, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I admit. And then, like I said, you got the people that admit that it's toxic and there's fucked up shit, but like, no, don't talk about it because I know some people actually don't like us. So I don't want there to be any actual reason to show that we can be evil too. Which just by saying that proves you're kind of fucking insane to say that. Did you get what I'm getting at? How fucking selfish. To act like you guys are so holier than thou, and then you have the audacity to say that kind of shit. You're promoting evil then. You're okay with evil as long as it's your own kind, so to speak, I guess. That's probably not the right way to say that, but anyway. If you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. I'm canceled again. I'm canceled again. Oh, you motherfucker.